Hey everyone, Jason Verdelli. Hope you're doing well. Doing a quick video here as a follow-up to my last video, which was on how to pivot your marketing strategy for the new norm. And today I want to share a great resource that Google has just put out. It's called Navigating the Road Ahead. I'm going to put a link next to the video here so you can download it. And what this does is this guide, it will help you based upon the situation that your business is currently in, or the phase of reaction to the pandemic that we're currently in, based upon where you're at, which phase you're at. It gives you some real good guidance and some tactics and strategies that you can employ for your business. And it also gives some great case studies. I mean, obviously Google is great at this, putting out great case studies to back up what they're putting out there. They obviously have clients that have seen great results with this. So really good actionable advice, especially if you're a marketing director, marketing manager, and owner of the business looking to shift your marketing right now, which is obviously super important. This is a great resource for that. So what I'm going to do is just really quick walk you through this. Won't spend too much time, but just give you just a general overview. As you can see up on the screen here, just move on to page 3. Basically, what Google looks at is in the pandemic and kind of ways to navigate our way out of this is looking at changes in your digital marketing and your marketing strategy based on 3 phases. So the first phase is respond. This is really where a lot of businesses, this is the short-term changes in a lot of businesses and short-term reactions. So things like if you're looking at Google search and things like that, you're looking at school closings, a lot of things that are not going to sustain over a long period of time, right? These are very short-term type things that might pop up that you might see a spike in demand, but then it's going to go down pretty quick, or just a spike in activity, but it's not sustaining. I'm seeing a lot of businesses in the respond phase that are sending out the COVID-19 emails, just changing operations, things like that. But again, that's not going to be something that's going to sustain over the long term as this continues to clear up. Or as we adapt to the current situation. So again, so basically what it does walks you through the respond phase, the rebuild phase, as you can see here in the center section, which really the rebuild phase is looking at changes in demand that might sustain over a longer term. So it's looking at maybe changes that businesses are having to make in order to sustain their business. This is also maybe rebuilding the way they offer their services. You're seeing a lot of this with the healthcare, with virtual, or like telemeetings, things like that. A lot of businesses or a lot of people are accessing their doctor, for instance, through Zoom meetings and things like that. So you're seeing a lot of rebuilding and the reshaping the way some of those services are delivered. You're also seeing some of that in restaurants with curbside service, and again, there's a lot of examples with that. Really, then the recover phase is where you're seeing services that already existed. So this as an example, Google puts this out as an example, like delivery services. Have always have been there for a while, right? You have Uber Eats and delivery services like that exist, but you're seeing the obviously people that have adapted to those services in the current time that we're in. If they're going to sustain those, they build habits on that, right? They get used to the fact that they, getting desserts delivered or getting, meals delivered. They find that that's a better way of doing things. So you're seeing businesses that realize, hey, you know what? We can do a Zoom meeting, or we can do, using tools like, like a Microsoft Teams or Zoom meeting, whatever. They're realizing that that's a lot more efficient and that's a better way of doing things for the long term. So the recovery strategy is figuring out how do we maintain those things, and also how do from a marketer's perspective, how do we make a strategic change in order to maintain or to position our brand for that continued increase in demand because of people's shift in behavior. So again, respond, rebuild, recover. Those are the 3 phases. I won't spend more than a minute talking about this, but really, again, navigating a response to that. So it's looking at the respond phase. Google gives some good tactics and the things and tools that you can look at, such as looking at consumer insights. So talks a little bit about the shock, kind of the change in search, for instance. You can see like the shock the shock phase, which is, again, your spikes in school closings, your step phase, step change, which is your people sort of slowly adapting to what they kind of have to do, like things like home workouts, things like that. So just shifting how they're consuming services, and then as well as the speed up, which is kind of goes into talks about so services like delivery services, for instance, that we're kind of there, but then have this huge spike, which might maintain that over a period of time. So again, just some other really interesting stats. 60% increase in the amount of content watched. Right now, obviously, a lot of people watching Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, everything like that. So again, if you're a marketer and or even just a brand business, you're an owner, and you're looking at ways to reach these people. I mean, what a better time right now than to reach people on YouTube that are watching, to reach that audience. But then being really creative in how you're actually reaching them. Given the kind of shifts in consumer behavior, so you can see some of the stats here with that. Then, basically, there's a lot of other examples with that. You can see like just some cool searches here, a 50% increase in virtual happy hour, any videos that have with me, with that, you can see the 54% increase in that. So just, you can see just how people are changing, how they're even creating content, let alone consuming content. You can see here too, like stationary bicycles, telecommuting, all these types of things. Obviously, Google kind of brings that out in this document. And then it obviously gives some tools here. You can see Google Trends, gives some insight into that. So gives you, and it obviously gives you some guidance in actually how to use that tool, which is great. So utilizing tools like filtering and time frame breakdown, exploring by categories. It also gives you some better ways to use the product, in terms of putting in certain terms, but then allowing Google Trends to kind of explore terms outside of that. So synonymous terms, things that you may not be thinking about, to kind of explore demand. It obviously looks at tools like Shopping Insights, which a lot of businesses might not be considering right now, but that's a huge opportunity. So Shopping Insights change in consumer behavior of what people are searching for, and you can see definitely a huge opportunity there. So it's a good opportunity to look at, or a great tool to look at opportunities. Then you have things like Google Alerts, which is obviously just notifying you if certain topics come about. And then there's a cool tool called Find My Audience, which is great. So you can actually, this is for like YouTube campaigns, so you can identify if you're an automotive dealer, for instance, and you wanted to figure out different types of audiences right now to reach. Again, tools like that are going to help you refine your budget a little bit in terms of how you approach the current market. So again, these are all free tools provided by Google. And then the last part of this that I'll cover in today's video is really just the assessing the impact in your business. So you'll see basically there's 4 scenarios that Google provides based upon where you're at. So is your business experiencing new challenges, such as changes in supply and demand? Is your business reassessing priorities? So is it focusing in on mitigating risk? Is it finding that you're having to pull back in certain areas, or and so forth? Is your business pivoting? So has it focused in on maybe putting a lot more emphasis on maybe one service than another? Things like online training, education, things like that. If you're in that kind of business, or even if you're not in that kind of business, that might be something you would consider right now, because it's an opportunity. Then obviously, is your business investing? So is your business, in an area? Do you provide delivery services? Are you providing, mailing services and things like that? Where again, certain things still have to happen, but are you really on that wave? Are you on the surfboard on the wave where there's a super increase in demand? And you're trying to better position yourself to meet that demand. So it goes into strategies like using dynamic search and things like that are going to help you broaden your reach, as well as broadening your conversions. So you can actually click on the button down here where it says Find Strategies to Help, and it'll take you to that section. where it gives you kind of an overview, and then it gives you really good tactics into exactly what you can do. Now, obviously, this is Google, so it's going to give you the insight into Google's products, so like Google Ads or video campaigns, video ads, a number of other different Google products that exist. It's going to give you some insight into that. But again, and then the third part of each section is it breaks down case studies. So if you're looking at that scenario where you're having to, in this particular case, I think we were trying to click on here. If you're experiencing new challenges or challenges in supply and demand, it gives good case studies. So it talks about a teeth whitening place, a boutique dental service. That obviously was a non-essential business, had to figure out something, so they offered a deal, basically buy one get one free teeth whitening, and then changed and shifted their search strategy around that, and then obviously had a 600% in return on an ad spend from that. But again, obviously they can't deliver those services, but they can kind of, if they offer something right now, people can kind of have that when times go back into normal. So that's really important. Again, just looking at some of these examples here, it helps kind of reinforce some of those tactics that are presented on the previous page. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the other parts of the document, obviously this is just covering the different scenarios and different case studies that go along with it. But definitely a great read, definitely worth looking at. If you're a marketing manager, marketing director, I really emphasize you looking at this right now. Good time to do it. And obviously, I'm here to help you navigate this. There's a lot of, it's Google, so they're going to provide a lot of detail, a lot of insight into things that might be technical and so forth. But would love to have the conversation with you on that. So if you are looking at this and saying, how do I pivot? How do I reassess and adapt my business for the future and to position yourself to be stronger now as well as going in the future? Definitely, direct message me here on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, direct message me there. Wherever you're at, wherever you're watching this, you can direct message me. We'd love to have the conversation and kind of help you through this. So anyway, hopefully this bit of video has been helpful. Hopefully you enjoy the guide. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I wish the best for you. So with that said, have a great rest of your day.